In today's video, I'm going to share with you a useful AI automation system that's completely free and could be useful for coaches and those who don't prefer to hire a personal trainer, and also starters in AI automation field. This system is completely free and you don't even need to pay for a ChatGPT API, and also you don't have to be a professional coder or an AI specialist to use it. So let's start. So in this scenario, we're gonna use some basic modules to educate you about the basic, and then you can use your creativity to build on it. It amazingly has a lot of potentials to add more options to it, so it works the way you prefer. So let's start on. So in this scenario, let's assume you are a personal trainer and you want to analyze the client's before and after pictures. So in this case, we're gonna make the client fill a form where he will upload his before and after picture, and we're gonna use this image in Google Drive, and then I will tell you later why I used this module. And then we're gonna use Groq image analyzer to analyze the user's or the client's image, and then we're gonna send an email to the client informing him about the insights of these pictures or these transformation pictures. So let's start from scratch. We're now gonna start with a watch responses module from Google Forms. I'm gonna search for watch responses. And now we're gonna need to create a form in Google Forms. So we're gonna start a blank one, and here we're gonna give it a name. We need to give it a name, like let's say client update. And we're gonna start to add a new form. Let's say we're gonna need a client's name, so we're gonna ask him, what's your name? And let's say we need this as a required field, so the client must fill this field. And we're gonna add another one, what's your email? And here also the value is gonna be a short answer. Also, you have an option to make it a required or not, but for the email it has to be required because it will be needed in our automation. So this is just a simple basic form. We're gonna need to capture the client's name and email and the picture of his or her transformation. And in this case, we're gonna need to use a file upload. A file upload here will need the client to upload his transformation picture, which is the before and after picture. And here we ask you if you want to allow Google Drive or allow the forms to upload these images to your Google Drive. So we're gonna say, okay. And here we're gonna ask the client a question. Let's say, upload your before and after picture. And here you have some options. You can have a minimum size of the image, 1 mega, 100 mega, and just we're gonna keep it for this case for 10 mega. And this is the maximum number of files, how many files you want the client. In this case, let's keep it at 1, and then allow a specific type. In here, you can ask for different types according to your scenario, but in our scenario, we're gonna use images. And then this is also gonna be required because also we're gonna need this in our automation. And then we're gonna need to go to responses, and we're gonna need to link it with a spreadsheet. Here, it's asking you to create a new spreadsheet or a new Google Sheet file, or use an existing one. So let's say we're gonna use a new one. Let's call it client update Google Sheet, and then we're gonna create. Here it created, an empty Google Sheet form, including the information that the client is expected to input. And we're gonna go back here to the forms and publish the form. Here it's asking you if you want this form to be public, so that anyone with the link can see the details. So we're gonna say okay. Then we're gonna need these four and get the link. This is where the client will fill the form. I'm not sure what it is. Let's go back quickly and delete it. Done. So in here we're gonna act as the client and we're gonna fill some details. In this case we're gonna use a temporary email just for the purpose of testing this system. So let's say temporary email. We're gonna use this one, for example, and we're gonna copy this email and we could use it as the client's email. Let's say my name is Oliver and this is my email, and I'm gonna here upload my before and after images. So I have an image I have downloaded before from somewhere online for a transformation. This is the image. I'm gonna upload the image and then submit. So we're gonna go back to our automation and start with Google Forms. Here we need first to connect these Google Forms with make.com. And now we're gonna need to copy the form ID in here or to search for the form name. So either cases work. For first case, we're gonna get this form ID from the URL of the form. You can find it up here. This is the form. I'm gonna copy this part and we're gonna paste it in here. Or you can search in here, you can type the form's name. We have called it client update. Now it's searching for the form and then it found it, and then we're gonna save. Here it asks you from where you wanna start. So we're gonna start from all. It's up to you. You can start from now on, or you can choose whatever fits your scenario. So for this case, I'm gonna start with all. Then we're gonna need to get this clock in here because the automation should start from where this clock is existed. So I'm gonna run this module only to grab the information that we had just inserted at the client in the latest form. So we're gonna run only this module, and here it brought the information that we had inserted as a client in the form. And then we're gonna move to the next module, which is Google Drive. We're gonna search for download a file, this module. And this module specifically brings the image file from the form that we have created previously. So we're gonna need to add in here the file ID, which is a picture that the client has uploaded. And we're gonna move through this tree in here until we find the file ID, which is this blue one. And we're gonna add it to the module. And then we're gonna save. And then we're gonna move to this ImgBB. this ImgBB is gonna upload the image that we have imported from Google Drive and then convert this image to a URL with an extension of a JPG. And this is because, as I told you at the beginning, this Groq module don't accept the links from the Google Drive. So we need to figure out another way to change the link given by Google Drive to a link with a JPG extension. Or let me explain you why. So normally when an image is uploaded to a Google Drive, it gives you a link to share like this one, while this Groq module need a URL with an extension of JPG or PNG. So this link in this case will not gonna work. So we're gonna need to host the image somewhere else to change the URL extension from this fork to another fork ends with .jpg or .png. So in this case, we're gonna use ImgBB module to host the link from this Google Drive and convert it to a JPG. So we're gonna need in here to link our ImgBB account, which you can create it for free. Let me know in the comments if you want me to show you how to create it. However, it's completely free. It gives you an API for free, so you can use it to connect with Make.com here. So in here, in this case, I have already created or connected my API with my free account at ImgBB, and I'm gonna map it out. In this case, I'm gonna need the file name, which is already in here, and the data, which is already, I brought it from here. You need to map it out from the information extracted from Google Drive file. You're gonna search for the name, this one, and here you're gonna search for data, this one. I'm gonna map it like this. I'm gonna save, and this is done. For this module, it's expected to host the image in here from our Google Drive in order to change the extension of the URL to be accepted by Groq Image Analyzer. So now we're gonna add the Groq Image Analyzer. We're gonna search for Analyze Image, this one. And here it's gonna ask me for the URL of the image, which I have hosted earlier in here. And in here, we're gonna find the image and the URL of the image. Just map it out into this column. And then we're gonna ask the LLM model what to do. So in this case, we're gonna tell him, you are a personal trainer called John. You will give your insights for the client Oliver about his transformation pictures, the before and after transformation pictures. And here we're gonna use the max token. Let's say we're gonna use 150 characters or tokens. We're gonna show the advanced setting, and we're gonna need to change the model because this model inserted in here by default is outdated. So we're gonna need to change this one with a valid one. So we're gonna search quickly for Groq Vision model. We're gonna go to the first result. We have here the vision models, and we have two options. Those two models are for vision. So in this case, we're gonna use this one. We're gonna copy this model name, and we're gonna go back to our model and paste it in here. And then we're gonna save. And then the final step we're gonna need to send to the client an email about the personal trainer's insights about his or her pictures. So in this case, we're gonna use Gmail. You can use whatever email you prefer, but in this case, I'm gonna use, as I told you, very basic modules. So I'm gonna use send an email. So here I'm gonna need to connect this model. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say about the connection. In here, you're gonna need to connect your account, your free account with Groq. You can create a free account and it's gonna give you a completely free API. You can use it in this process. You can add in here and you can use the API from groqcloud.com. If you want me to create a video about how to create a free account from Groq and get its API, let me know in the comments. So now we're gonna go to the last step and we're gonna need here to connect our Gmail account. In here, we're gonna go to connected, and now it's connected. We're gonna need to add in here the email of the client. So we're gonna get the email from the form that the client has filled at the beginning, which is here. What's your email? We're gonna go all the way down to the value in here. And we're also gonna need in here the subject. Let's say your week's insights, and we're gonna say the name of the client. We're gonna also bring the name from the form that the client has filled. Here we're gonna go all the way down to the value. This value gives the name of the client. And then finally in the content in here, we're gonna add the result that came out from the image analyzer, which is Groq. And that's it. We're gonna save this for. So after making sure that all modules are connected to the accounts, then we're gonna need to run and test this system. So we got an error in here. The invalid. It needs to verify. It needs to pre-verify again the API. So I'm gonna quickly copy the API. So I'm gonna paste my API in here. I'm gonna save it. Then now it's connected. I'm gonna save and then we run this again. Let's see what it will give us. Now it's completed, and now we are expected to get an email to the client's email, which is the email that we have created earlier at the beginning. This temporary email, and you see we have received this email in here. Here is a final assessment. The after photo reveals significant improvement, and this is a full analysis of the LLM. So you can change the format. This email looks too basic, so you can change the format of this email from here. In this content, you can use HTML tags. In here, you can use some design HTML content, which will make this email looks much better, like some styling issues, which is, in this case, you may have noticed that it's very basic, but you can change this style in here by adding some HTML codes in order to change the format of this very basic email. So if you want me to create a video to explain to you how to use HTML codes in this place or in this content, please let me know in the comments. So now it worked. So if you have any question, please let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching.